Hello everyone, welcome back to the floor of my bedroom. Today I have a very exciting video. We are going to be doing my April TBR. This is my version of a TBR jar. I've never done this before. I've never actually set out what I was gonna read. Oh, just dropped one. I've never actually set out what I was gonna read in a month. It's always just very random. I'm a mood reader at heart, but I figured it would be fun to try something new. So that's what we're gonna do today. I have about 18 or 19 books on my physical TBR. Of course, there are always things that I have in my brain that I'm looking to read. Lots of new releases coming out, so I definitely want to get to those as well. But we'll see what we choose. Also, I want to preface by saying I'm only going to choose 6 books for my April TBR because that is already very ambitious. Like I said, I'm a mood reader, so I probably won't get to all of these, and I don't think I've ever actually read 6 books in 1 month. We can always hope and dream, so let's go ahead and get started. I have about 15 prompts that I put in here last night. We'll see. Okay, first one. I don't know why I'm nervous because I think I have to actually read it. Okay, I got a memoir. I am very excited for this one. I want to read a lot more memoirs and biographies. I do have a couple that I already own, a lot of actors. Actually, I think mainly just actors, so let me go ahead and pull what I have. I didn't even actually count these towards my TBR, so I have way more books than I thought, but these are all the options that I have. I have Viola Davis, Bryan Cranston, Diane Keaton, Sally Field, Brian Cox, and Matthew Perry. This is a tough one. I definitely want to read Sally Field and Diane Keaton because they're so nostalgic to me. My mom has watched so many of their movies growing up. They're always on TV, so I just feel like I've seen so many of the things they're in. I want to know more about them. Viola Davis's book sounds incredibly interesting. Honestly, all of these sound incredibly interesting. I'm tempted to choose Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing by Matthew Perry just because this is the one I've had in my TBR the longest, and there's really just no excuse for me not to read it. It's also so short. He also narrates the audiobook that's free on Spotify Premium, so I definitely think I want to do that as well. I want to make sure I can like listen to him read it to me just because I love Chandler Bing so much, and just all of the things he's been in. Not exclusively Chandler Bing, but my god, he is just a gem of a human being. I'm gonna do some research to see if Val Kilmer has a book out as well. I know there's a documentary about his life that I haven't seen, but I really, really want to. I love Val Kilmer and was literally devastated hearing the news of his passing this week. So if there's one about him, I may just throw that in there as a bonus. I think my choice for this video is going to be Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. Okay, let's go ahead and choose the second book for the month of April. Oh my gosh, I think I chose multiple. See what we have here. A play! This is great because I need to read more plays. A couple of friends of ours who are also actors have decided to start a little monthly play club. So we're already going to be reading Betrayal by Harold Pinter this month, but I decided to choose one extra one because plays are so short and I need to read them. So I'm going to be reading Fleabag by none other than, I don't know why I had to look at her name, Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I have already seen the show of Fleabag, but we definitely bought this at the drama bookshop being like, we have to have a copy of it. I've never actually read it. I want to see where it differs. I know it's really good. I loved the show. This is just going to be a fun little extra thing that we'll do this month at the club meeting as well. We're going to be doing a reading out loud with everyone there. I don't remember the name of that, but I'll put it on the screen. So we'll have hopefully 3 plays for this month, which is really exciting. I didn't read any in March, so definitely long overdue for that. Let's pick our third option for the month of April. A book that matches the season. Okay, right now we are in spring, definitely heading into summer, but I'm gonna do a spring book. I don't know if I'm gonna go with cover vibes that remind me of the spring season or something that I know might actually take place in the springtime, maybe has just springy vibes. We are gonna... Wait a second, this is so perfect. I do not own a camera yet, so I film all of my videos on my iPhone, and I just got a notification that my book of the month literally just arrived. This is not one of those planned, like, oh my god, suddenly I'm sponsored. I wish. I'm pretty sure my package just arrived, and I have actually the perfect book for this. Like, if it actually just got delivered, like, there's not a more perfect color to represent the springtime. I was gonna choose How to End a Love Story by Yulin Kwan just because it's giving me pink spring vibes, but give me 1 second. I think I actually have the perfect book for this. This could not be more perfect. Like I said, I feel like I had a pretty decent idea of what to choose. I could always just choose How to End a Love Story. I have A Short Walk Through a Wide World by Douglas Westerby. Oh, is this not screaming spring? If this doesn't say spring, I don't know what does. Let me inspect it. I'm absolutely crazy and I have to make sure that the book actually isn't damaged. Change of plans. The book we are choosing for this prompt, match a book to the current season, which is springtime, is going to be Passion Project by London Sperry. This is a debut debut novel. One of my friends, I think personally knows her, or at least knows of her enough to where she's been doing like a lot of promo on her own Instagram story being like, hey, check out London's new novel. I adore the cover. This is gorgeous. This is obviously set in New York. This is a romance. Let me do a little bit of reading about what it's about. Bennett Taylor should be living the best years of her life, but she's failing miserably. Emphasis on miserable. Adrift in NYC, she has no direction and no energy to find one. Been there. Oh my gosh. So it sounds like the main character Bennett is set up on a first date with the male love interest Henry, and it says that she expresses she has no passion for anything. It looks like he ends up offering to take her to try a new activity every single Saturday in order to try to rediscover her passion for life again and just the things she enjoys to do. But when secrets surface, Bennett finally has to face the grief that's holding her back. This sounds actually incredible. This sounds like it is going to hit very hard because, as I have briefly mentioned before, I have been struggling a little bit here in NYC. The city of so many dreams and opportunities. Sometimes it's hard to feel like you're not where you're supposed to be right now, and you know, comparison is the thief of joy, and I definitely do a lot of that with other people in my life, comparing my progress to theirs, which is not good. Don't recommend. So this is great. This sounds like it has so much potential to be absolutely insane, but there we go. Love the cover. That just could not scream spring more if I asked it to. Going on to book 4. Let's hope I really read these. This seems pretty accomplishable so far. This book is tiny, the play is easily accomplishable, and this book I just really want to read. So we are off to a great start for motivation. Our 4th pick is My Best Friend Chooses. Let me go ahead and coordinate that and see what she says. I think what I'm going to do for this prompt is I'm going to choose a couple books for her to choose from, just so that she doesn't like aimlessly have to stare at my bookshelf. Okay, so I'm kind of rigging this a little bit because some of these books I really want to get to for a video that will be coming out very soon. Part 1 of it should be released hopefully within the next week or 2. It has to do with colorful titles, but anyway, A Short Walk Through a Wide World by Douglas Westerby, A Sea of Unspoken Things by Adrienne Young. This is going to be my first book by Adrienne Young. And then I'm going to choose Beartown by Frederick Bachman. I actually did already start reading this. I started reading the digital version on my phone, but I just find it so hard for me to read books on my phone. I think if I had a Kindle, it would be a lot different, but so far every book that I've read on my phone, aside from A Million Junes by Emily Henry, that is the only digital book I've ever actually finished successfully, which I gave 5 stars. I think also because it's on my phone, there's a lot more notifications that are able to pop up. It's really hard for me to stay on track with reading. It's also hard for me to feel motivated because I can't really see where I'm at physically in the book the same way that I obviously can if I have a bookmark. So long story short, I started this a little bit ago and then completely abandoned it, but I want to finish it because I loved what I read so far. I think his writing is really beautiful and specific. We will see what she says out of these 3 books. Insert that, future Alexa's, whatever she chooses. Thank you, Morgan. Love you. Moving on to our 5th pick for this video, we have lowest rated book. This is so interesting. This is going to require a little bit of research, but I'm going to go ahead and look out of all the books that I have in my physical TBR. I'm going to look and see what the lowest rated on Goodreads specifically is. I could probably compare it with Fable, but I think just for the sake of time, we're going to look on Goodreads only. Not me checking the average rating for the women, as if Kristen Hanna books are not going to be minimum 4.5. Okay, I have finally compiled a full list of all of the books I have here. I did not choose any of the memoirs biographies because 1, we already chose one for this month, and I don't really care if those are lowest rated or not because that's also rude to rate someone's life story lowly. I mainly just chose the books behind me, which I have 23 of actually, so I guess I just recently learned how to count. I don't know where the number 18 came from, but the 2 lowest rated books that I currently have on my physical TBR, Short Walk Through a Wide World by Douglas Westerby, which is coming in at 3.53. This is my lowest rated on my shelf. But then I figured that because we already have the option for my friend to choose this one, we should choose next lowest rated, which is going to be You Again by Kate Goldbeck. That one has an average rating on Goodreads of 3.57. So these are the 2 lowest rated books that I currently own. I'm not going to choose this one just because I don't know if my best friend is going to choose that one yet. I already started reading this back in October. I ended up soft DNFing this at the time because I didn't really love it. I don't know if I just wasn't in the mood for it. I never want to write a book off fully as a DNF unless it is Unfortunately Yours by Tessa Bailey. That one I only got about 45 pages into, and I cannot even describe the way I was already angered by the dynamic between the male and female main characters. I have heard many mixed reviews for this book in particular. There are a lot of people that just don't like it and find find the main characters frustrating. On one side of the spectrum, I've heard people who don't like this book say that the characters are very unlikable, not very redeemable, and just people that you don't really want to root for, so it's like, why do I care about them getting together? And then on the other hand, I've heard people say that because they're so unlikable, it makes them more human and they're very relatable in that way, so you either like the characters or you don't. I don't think I liked them enough to continue it at the time that I started reading it. I may have also been in a slump. I don't entirely remember. I do think that this also would hit more in the fall time. That's why I definitely tried to read it around October the first time around. I don't know if this is going to hit or if I will necessarily be in the mood for it, but it is the second lowest rated book. If my friend doesn't choose A Short Walk Through a Wide World, I'll just throw that one on there instead. We have finally made it to our sixth and final pick for my April TBR. Thank you guys so much for watching, even though we still have one more pick left. This has just been very exciting and makes me feel like a YouTuber, so here we go. Yes! Okay, this one I'm very excited for. This is kind of a cop-out because it's not a new book to me. It's not really getting anything off of my physical TBR, but I do want to do a lot of rereads. I do want to be in the world of my favorite books. Let me just explain the prompt. So this is a 5-star reread. I want to get back to reading a lot of my 5-star books, especially ones that I haven't read in a while, just to see if I still feel the same about them, and also just if I love them, I want to be back in that world. Ooh, this one's kind of exciting because I have a friend who just recently finished Olivia Blake's Alone with You in the Ether for the first time. I think it's gonna come up on a year of me finishing this because I read it around March or April last year. One thing I want to say too is that this I never declared to be a 5-star. When I put this as an Instagram review on my story originally, I wrote about it, but I said specifically in there that I didn't know what I was gonna rate this. One thing about Olivia Blake is she writes so eloquently and so beautifully that sometimes I don't understand it. And I have a hard time saying that this is a 5-star for me when I cannot defend everything that was said in this book because I don't know half of what was said in this book. We have a mathematician named Aldo who every single time he speaks, I don't really get it. I don't know what his field of study is, which is fine. Not that you have to in order to love this book. A lot of the existential things that he was saying, these are very deep characters and I didn't always know what was going on. But then there are points where our female main character, Reagan, in this, Olivia Blake just takes when I was reading this, I felt like Olivia Blake was taking things from the deepest corners and crevices of my mind, pulling them out and putting them onto a paper. I simultaneously felt so called out and so seen in some aspects of this book. I just remember this book impacting me so profoundly. I want to be reminded what this book is about because I want to say once and for all that this is a 5-star for me. I remember just being so blown out of the water but so afraid to claim it was a 5-star because I feel like Olivia Blake lovers are they're intellectuals, and not saying that I can't be an intellectual too, but I just have a hard time verbalizing what was so special to me about this book. I was debating reading Happy Place by Emily Henry because that was a 5-star for me back in August, I believe, of 2023, and I definitely want to give that one a reread as well. I just love Emily Henry. I already did a reread of Normal People this year. That would be like my 88th time reading that book at this point, so I'm definitely not going to do that. Although, y'all are not going to believe. Yeah, you know that's Connell Waldron. You know I have a signed copy of Normal People by the one and only Connell Waldron. And it was actually funny because when we were waiting at the stage door, I showed my boyfriend, I flipped to a random page and I found this annotation that says, "God, I love Paul Mescal," and I was like, should I have him sign it right here? That would have been a little bit weird. But the only other book that I would consider for this 5-star reread prompt, which I'm not going to get out because it is at the bottom of the stack, but it is The Lovely War by Julie Berry. This is one of the first books I read when I became literate again back in 2020 or 2021. I didn't really know the concept of a 5-star book back then, and that's how people rated things that they loved. So I never officially gave it a 5-star, but I sobbed at the second half of this book, and it has a lot to do with Greek mythology. It's basically, oh, I love it. I love it. It is a tale of 2 love stories told by Aphrodite as she's on trial for cheating on her husband. She gets found out that she is cheating on her husband, I think Ares. She calls court. She has to bring witnesses to plead her case that because she is the goddess of love and desire, she can never truly be loved and she can never give love in that way. While she is weaving the tale of these 2 stories to show an example of 2 true loves and why she is exempt from that and she shouldn't be held accountable for cheating on her husband. We get to see these 2 people throughout World War II. It's in France. It is just so wonderful. The 2 couples that are in that are amazing. The Greek mythology elements and all the gods that we get to see in that are amazing as well. It's everything I could ever want and more. So I definitely was debating reading that, but I think just for how short and sweet it is and how recent I've heard one of my friends talking about it, I gotta give it to Olivia Blake. Just the way that I'm talking about it, this has to be a 5-star. Alrighty, thank you guys so much for watching my first ever TBR video. I think we have quite a good stack of books here. I definitely hope to get through most of them, if not all, but we will definitely see. I have a reading vlog coming out soon, which will have some other books on it, so there's gonna be a lot of books coming up for the month of April, but I am determined. Stay tuned for my combined March and April wrap-up, where hopefully I will get to talk about my thoughts and feelings on most of these books. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.